The market's just going to be absolutely flooded with trades. So one strategist from S&P Dow Jones estimates that $72 billion worth of trades are going to occur on the rebalancing day.
Hey, I'm Steven and this is Solving the Money Problem. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. So surprise, surprise, we are talking about Tesla stock once again, in particular the incoming S&P 500 inclusion, which we now have some more confirmation around exactly how this event will take place. So let's get into the video. But first, hey guys, if you live in the US and you'd like to help out the channel and get up to 4 free stocks, check out the link in the description to WeBull. If you open a new account, you'll get 2 free stocks between $2.50 and $250 each just for opening an account. And if you deposit $100, you'll get a further 2 free stocks valued between $8 and $1,600 each. That is an obnoxiously good return on your investment. I mean, really, deposit $100 and you'll end up with, at minimum, $21 worth of stocks, a 21% ROI on your money. And if you're in Australia, the UK, or New Zealand, you can get a free stock with stake also using the link in the description. Let's get back to it. As I record this morning, Tesla stock in the mid $580 range, also known as on its way to Mars. And by the way, once again, great opportunity to plug the merch store. Don't forget your Tesla stock to Mars t-shirt or Tesla stock to the moon t-shirt, link below. All right, let's get into it.
All right, if you think Bitcoin is wild, just wait till you hear what's going on with Tesla, because the stock is set to join the S&P 500 on December 21st. Normally that joining would be pretty ho-hum, but not with Tesla because it is so massive now. The Journal detailed the care asset managers and trading desks. Even the S&P itself is taking when it comes to this move, because inclusion could easily put more than $100 billion into motion. As things stand, Tesla would be the 6th largest component in the S&P after the big 5 mega cap tech companies. Its weighting would be so massive from day one. There's a debate over whether to add it all on one day or spread it over 2 days, Mike, or even to spread it out over 2 quarters, which is what MSCI did with China a few years ago. I mean, I understand that S&P's inclusion has been a catalyst for Tesla's latest move higher, but a $500 billion company makes no sense to me.
It's amazing, and the farther the stock goes up before it gets in, the more friction it creates upon entry.
Mike raises an important point here. The higher the price of Tesla stock before S&P 500 inclusion, the higher the dollar amount of Tesla stock that needs to be purchased at the inclusion date in around 3 weeks' time. This is going to make things very interesting, keeping in mind that all of the fund managers will actually need to dump other stocks in order to make room for Tesla. So this inclusion, given the enormous size of the company, the gigantic more than $500 billion market cap that Tesla now has, means that there's going to be downward selling pressure on a ton of other stocks at the same time that a lot of people are buying up Tesla. It is not going to be boring.
Now, the index funds are not just going to sit there and wait and buy every share the day it goes in. There's a way to scale, and there's a way of getting exposure incrementally and trying to be smart about the execution of it. It's not terribly different than 10 plus years ago when Berkshire Hathaway went in at a similar size relative to the total market cap. It was a much less volatile stock, though. It was not something that was going to necessarily get away from the index funds. Now, the thing about Tesla is the stock itself trades an enormous amount of dollar volume every single day. $30 to $40 billion is routine on a one-day basis for Tesla. It's much more about what happens to the rest of the index as we have that push and pull of Tesla getting in.
And that's, John, what people are saying is the fact that it's so liquid should help. But would you apply what you said about trying to figure out Bitcoin to figuring out Tesla's share price?
It's like I'm an old man today yelling, "Get off my lawn." But this scares me. It's like a meteor heading toward the S&P 500. Comparing it to Berkshire Hathaway, it's a little bigger in market cap right now, I think, than Berkshire Hathaway. And it's like the opposite kind of company. Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett, boring, don't understand technology, kind of, steady as she goes. Tesla's just been on this amazing tear. I defer in all analysis to Mike Santoli. But boy, I mean, even if I'm just holding an S&P 500 index fund, I'm worried about Tesla's effect, much less on Tesla itself.
It's going to be 1% just about of the index. So there you go.
Some interesting comments here from Grandpa. Maybe it's just my distorted perspective, given the fact that I personally think that index investing is for people that don't want to do any thinking whatsoever regarding investing. There's nothing wrong with that. But for me, I personally have pretty ambitious financial goals. I want to do a lot of philanthropy in the tail end of my life, and I want to accumulate a lot of capital. So the idea of like a 7, 8, 9% annualized return makes me want to vomit in my mouth. Is that all? Really? Come on, guys. So given the fact that Tesla's only going to make up 1% of the S&P 500, I really don't think it's too scary of a prospect even for Grandpa on his porch there. Why? Well, if Tesla goes bankrupt, that's going to do no more than shave off 1% of the value of the S&P 500. And that is an exceedingly unlikely outcome. And if Tesla doubles in value, it only adds about 1% to the overall S&P 500 return. I really don't think this extremely volatile stock known as Tesla is actually going to have that much of an impact in the overall index because it's still a tiny speck, about 1% of its total value. Not a big deal to me, but hey, each to their own. Let me know in the comments below, do you think it's a valid concern that Tesla may introduce some unreasonable volatility into the S&P 500? Honestly, I think Grandpa's worrying about nothing.
It's a big number, so we'll wait. We should hear from S&P possibly today or any moment now over how exactly they're going to do this. But stay tuned, everybody, because that's going to be a difficult one, just the maneuvering of it.
And what do you know? We've now heard exactly how Tesla stock will be entering the S&P 500 index.
So it's coming all at once. It's like Christmas, isn't it? We'll not get Amory.
Yeah,
Amory
exactly.
likes Christmas.
Hey, but Christmas could have been divided into 2 days in this case, but instead, Christmas for Tesla and the S&P 500 happening in one day. But look, S&P Dow Jones, it didn't arrive at this decision by itself. It also surveyed a lot of other investors. So you'd have to imagine that Wall Street traders do have a large amount of confidence that they can handle this massive rebalancing that's coming to market because Tesla will be the largest ever company added to the S&P 500 and $11 trillion worth of passive investments track the index. So this is going to be a shakeup. There are a lot of money managers who need to readjust their funds in order to continue to track the portfolio.
On a personal note, I'm stoked to see that the decision has been made to include Tesla on a single date rather than spread over 2 separate tranches. The reason this is so interesting and exciting to me is as a great learning opportunity. See, nothing the size of Tesla has ever entered the S&P 500 index before. And the fact that there's going to be so much intense buying pressure centered around this single inclusion date, oh boy, grab your popcorn, it is not going to be boring.
But look, S&P Dow Jones confident there's enough liquidity in Tesla and the market itself to handle this just one time on December 21st. And as one strategist told Bloomberg, it's like ripping off the Band-Aid. Either way, there would have been a disruption. So it's better to do the normal thing, add it all in once, than try something new when we're dealing with a record size of a company here.
Yeah, $538 billion worth. I mean, what kind of market impact can we expect when we do see the move, Danny?
So on the day that indexes have to rebalance to include Tesla, the market's just going to be absolutely flooded with trades. So one strategist from S&P Dow Jones estimates that $72 billion worth of trades are going to occur on the rebalancing day. Let me put this in context for you. The average rebalancing day is less than half of that. And the prior record for a rebalance was $50 billion, so about $20 billion less. So the volume is going to look a little bit strange as this happens.
I'm so excited to watch this inclusion happen. It's going to be a great learning experience. And just a few comments around the stock. At the moment, I suspect there's a lot of short-term traders who've been bidding Tesla stock up, buying plenty of the stock with the hope of offloading it closer to the S&P 500 inclusion date to all of those funds that must buy the stock. This could make a very, very volatile few weeks in the lead up to the inclusion. Once these short-term traders, if I'm right, begin offloading their stock, that's likely to put downward pressure on the stock price, while at the same time, funds need to buy, so anything could happen. Tesla stock could enter the S&P 500 index worth less than it is today, or plenty more, but the real thing to pay attention to is what happens in the ensuing weeks and months. Does Tesla stock go to the moon, then come back down to Earth? Does it stay at the moon? Does it head to Mars? Or some combination thereof? It's going to be really difficult to know exactly what's going to happen.
But either way, this really would have had to happen. It's just whether it happened in one part or two. Because keep in mind, money managers, passive money managers that track the S&P 500 are going to have to offload other companies in order to make space for Tesla. So either way, this was set to be a disruptive event.
So we now know that Tesla stock will enter the S&P 500 index in a single momentous day. I can't wait to watch this unfold. And a question for you guys, please let me know in the comments below. At what price do you think Tesla stock will peak in the lead up to or the following days after S&P 500 index inclusion? And a second question, how much will the stock then subsequently fall, if at all? I'm Stephen Mark Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. And don't forget, if you live in the US and you'd like to help out the channel and get up to 4 free stocks, check out the link in the description to WeBull. If you open a new account, you'll get 2 free stocks between $2.50 and $250 each just for opening an account. And if you deposit $100, you'll get a further 2 free stocks valued between $8 and $1,600 each. And if you're in Australia, the UK or New Zealand, you can get a free stock with stake also using the link in the description. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you have any ideas for future videos, let me know. I read all your comments. P.S. If you're still watching, you're awesome. If you'd like early access, exclusive videos, regular Q&As, our private Discord server and more, consider supporting the channel at patreon.com/solvingthemoneyproblem so I can keep creating content for you guys. There's a link in the description. You can now also become a member of the channel for some exclusive perks. To learn more, click the join button next to subscribe. And don't forget to check out our merch store. Either way, the best form of support is you being here and watching, so thanks again.